So over the past few weeks, we have seen weakness in the markets with some of the tech sectors selling off as well after pushing to like all-time highs, right? So how are the Singapore banks doing, right? And in this video, we'll be talking about the three Singapore banks, DBS, UOB and OCBC. So I've covered, these banks about a month back. Some of them have managed to push a little bit higher, but then some profit taking came back. So where are we right now? I mean, it's like the uptrend still intact, and what are some of like the new support levels that have came out over the past few weeks, right? So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end if you want to know how are the three Singapore local banks doing, DBS, UOB and OCBC, and we will even dive into the system that I have. So I have a system called 1GT, One Good Trend, that kind of like alerts us to counters which are potential to watch in terms of like the signals to buy and get out as well, entry and exit signals. So we'll dive into the system to see what it says for these three banks as well. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. Okay, so the first bank I would like to talk about would be DBS, right? DBS Bank right here trading at about $32.39. So just about a month back, I did a video on DBS and I talked about this resistance somewhere around that $32, $31.50, and that was pretty much where we were kept below since like August. You can see right here, we kind of like touched it and came all the way down. We attempted to break it, and over the past 3 weeks to a month, it's not too bad, right? We managed to break this resistance at that 32, 31.50 level, and that is quite a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing that prices are kind of like pushing to new high, and buyers are attempting to find a new high. So we're pretty much at an all-time, I would say, high right now for DBS. Look at this right here. In the past, we were somewhere around like $30, $31, and it came back down. Right, that was in 2018. So we are pretty much at an all-time high for DBS. Okay, and about $32.39. So what is the key levels to take note on, right? Before I talk about that, let's take a look at the trend, right? So I mentioned that DBS is in quite a good uptrend, right? I mean, since like November last year, when there were like a roll out all this vaccination and all that, that was where we started to see the market really rebounded, and of course the banks were there to really rebound as well. So we can also draw what we call an upwards sloping channel support line right here. You can see pretty much forming what we call higher lows, whereby buyers are prepared to come in and buy at higher prices. So that's a good uptrend, right? In terms of the moving averages, look at this, right? The red line right here, that was somewhere in November last year. We crossed back above the blue line, red above blue. Both of these lines are pointing up right now, all right, which shows that the longer term uptrend is still pretty much intact, right? So it's pretty much pointing up. Look at it, pointing up, and this is where we are right now. Same thing, right? It's still pointing up, maybe a bit not that steep, all right, but it's still pointing up. So we're looking at a good long-term uptrend still for DBS, right? But doesn't mean up, means like going up every single day, right? It might just go up, consolidate a while before attempting to push higher, and that's what I call a healthy uptrend, right? So this is the level that we have broken, all right? I would say the $31.70. You can see this was the high somewhere in August. We sold off, but eventually we kind of broke this level. So this $31.70, I would say that it will kind of like be a new support level. In fact, we kind of like hit it down last week to a low of about 31.80 something, and then kind of rebounded back up. But you can see this is a bit of resistance. So let me just go into draw it for you right now. That would become like the range for now, 31.70, all right, 31.70. You can see right here, resistance turn support, where it kind of like rebounded last week, or maybe even give it a bit of leeway. We can even put it to maybe about 31.50, like about 31.50 to the 31.70. That is pretty much the support level for now, whereby the uptrend still looks quite intact. We might consolidate in this range all the way to that $33, right? This $33 would be a bit of a resistance, right? I mean, you can see that's where we kind of like neared it and came down about 2 times, right? About 2 or 3 days. So that's where sellers might actually come back to bargain hunt again, right? So this is pretty much a range, all right? We might consolidate here, and hopefully we attempt to break that 33 level, and that's where we can potentially see a bit more upside, and targets might be revised higher. So right now, I think it still looks okay. I mean, the trends for DBS looks quite firm in terms of the upwards direction, as long as we hold above this like new support at 31.50 to 31.70, right? So let's take a look at what it says on the system. system if there are any like signals that have came out recently. Okay, so this is DBS on my 1GT, or one good trend system, right, that I have. It kind of like alerts us to counters like this and also guides us on entry and exit, right? So this is where we are right here. I think I'll not go too far, but somewhere around like November last year, I think on the 2nd or 3rd of November, we actually had a really good green arrow pointing up. So this is what we call like a bullish signal, alright? So one for entry, one for exit. So we went all the way up, we got an exit. You can see started to consolidate a bit of signals here and there, alright? Started to push up a little bit, and as it push up gently, alright, this year from like February all the way to somewhere around like August, there were a couple of good signals, but I just push up a little bit, right? But let's just take a look at where we are right now, right? So yeah, I think somewhere around here in September, we got a good signal, went up a little bit, got an exit, and that was where in October, quite a good move, right? I think when you attempted to break that $30, we got a really good signal on the 15th of October, all right? So it went up all the way, we got an exit, and this is where we are right now. So I think just about last week on the 17th of November, we got like a new 1GT bullish signal. I think we kind of attempted to break that 32.50 level, all right, and we got a signal. So right now you can see that there are still no exits, right? There's still no exits. So I think it looks quite okay. As I mentioned, right now the support level will be about 31.50 to 31.70. So I think we hold above these levels, this signal might still stay, all right, might still stay. It depends on how long we hold above, all right, but it will still stay. I think if we hold above that 31.50 level, and hopefully we break this like 33 or maybe 32.80 to 33 level, and that's where some upside targets can be revised further, right? So this is DBS, right? We had like a new bullish signal, all right? We got a entry, an exit, and like a new one again, all right? So there are still no exits for the most recent new bullish signal. Okay, so let's take a look at UOB right now, all right? So guys, if you like this video, go ahead to give me an early thumbs up. It will definitely help out the channel, and thank you so much for doing it, all right? So this is UOB trading at about $27.60, just about a month back, all right? I did a video, I mentioned about this really critical resistance level, and that would be that $27 level. You can see this is the $27 level right here. Now I've turned it to green in color, but this was originally a red line. You can see this was where we were. You can see, let me just push it back here. You will kind of like touch, came down. This was even before the entire situation that we're in right now, all right? Kind of sold off when it broke that 25, and we were pretty much back to this level, this consolidation range, right? Let me just go to draw it for you. I mean, this is pretty much the range from like 25 to that $27 level right here, and we were actually consolidating here, right? 25 to 27 just about last year, all right, in 2019, and this was where we were, same thing, 25 to $27. So 27 is what we call a really critical resistance level, and if we were to like get past that level, and not like get past and like break and come back down, right? We want to like really see it hold above that level over the few days, all right, and prices really trying to find like a new high as well. That's a good sign whereby the uptrend can actually continue to the next phase, and that's what we saw, right? I mentioned this is about a few weeks back, right? We kind of like broke this $27 level, which would now be like the new support level. Let me just change it back to green in color right here. So this is where we are right now. So $27 has turned from like a resistance, right, since like 2 years back, all right, in 2019, to like a new support level, and that is pretty much the range right now from 27 all the way to that 28 level. So why 28, right? So you can see $28 over the past 2 weeks. We are seeing a little bit of resistance. You can see that's where sellers kind of came back, a little bit of a bearish candle. You can see we attempted to break it, push above 28, but sellers came back to push prices back down below 28. So we really haven't like broken that 28 level officially or firmly yet. So that's where sellers can actually come back again right here. And look at this, right? $28 was also where we were somewhere in 2018. All right, just about 3 years back as well, somewhere here. That's where we kind of sold off. So this 28 would be a little bit of a resistance, but it's not all that bad. I mean, it's good that we see a bit of profit taking. All right, consolidate right here from 27 to 28, but I think it still looks quite good in terms of the uptrend. Being firm as long as we hold above this new $27 support level. All right, so looking at the moving averages, you can see that the red and blue line, longer term uptrend is quite intact as well, both pointing up. Green line, look at this, the short term green line is still pointing up as well. Prices holding, look at this, right? The green line have like it's like sideways, and then somewhere around like October we started to point up, right? Point up, and prices was above this green line, which is the 20-day short-term moving average. So that's a good sign. That's where it started push up. Of course, we broke that 27 here, and right now you can see that this is where we are right now, still above this green line. So eventually, I mean, if we were to consolidate from like 27 to 28, you know, this green line might start to like flatten out here, you know, and go like straight, right? So that's fine. I mean, basically it just means that the short term we might turn from a bit of up to a bit of a sideways consolidation, all right, before attempting to push higher and then break that $28 level. All right, so this is UOB. It looks quite okay above that $27, and hopefully we can see this $28, you know, attempting to break, and that is where we might revise our target higher to that 29 to maybe that $30 level. Okay, so let's take a look at what it says on the 1GT system. Okay, so this is UOB on my 1GT system as well. So it looks quite similar to DBS, I would say. You can see somewhere around here, last year, November, I think this is like 4th of November. Same thing, we got a really good bullish signal, about like $19, where it's pushed all the way to about $23, got an exit, and then we had a couple of like, you know, bullish entry and an exit signal as it's like gradually slope upwards, right? And that was where, you know, I mentioned about this consolidation from like 25 to 27. You can see this was where it was like consolidating. So a couple of, you know, entry and exit signal as it consolidates, not much of a move. But let me just go ahead to zoom in for you somewhere around here. I think just somewhere recently about 13th of October, right here, we got like kind of like a good bullish signal coming in, a green arrow pointing up, and it was where it kind of like attempted to break that 26.50, and of course that $27 that I talk about, you know, kind of like broke as well. Look at this right here, kind of broke that $27, so that's a good sign, right? So yeah, a good bullish signal, push up a little bit, and I think, yeah, recently, I think just about a week back, we got an exit signal, all right? An exit signal. I think some of you might be asking, hey, why, you know, if there's an exit signal, or why do we think about getting in still, right? So an exit signal doesn't mean like, oh, it's bad, it's bearish, it will go all the way down. It just means like an exit. That means like if you have kind of like gone in around here, it could be a good opportunity to kind of like take some money off the table, to take some profit. That's perfectly fine as well. But you know, we never know, right? As I say, as we consolidate above this new $27 support level, we might actually see maybe like a new signal coming out again in the next few weeks or next few days, all right? And that's where I can kind of like guide us on entry again, right? So yeah, we had like a new bullish signal, all right, entry. We got an exit. There are no signals right now, but it still looks okay, as I mentioned, above this new $27 support. Okay, so this is OCBC Bank, right? It looks a little bit different from DBS and UOB, which are like kind of like attempting to push higher, find a new high and all that, and it consolidates. But OCBC, we actually saw a little bit of weakness somewhere around like, you know, August, September. You'll see we kind of like traded down after finding a high of like 1260. We traded down, and thankfully we found a little bit of support coming in around that 1140 level. You can see right here, a bit of support came back, rebounded, and eventually we broke this like resistance level, which is about that $11, and I would say maybe about 70 to 80 cents. It was originally about 11.80, but let me just give it a bit of leeway, maybe about $11.70. Look at this, right? This was like kind of like the support level, rebounded. This was where we were all the way in like April, May, June. We broke, and now we are back to this level, all right, this consolidation range, which I would say from 11.70 all the way to about the $12 psychological level, right? So this $12, it seems like over the past 1 month, I mean, I talked about it in the previous video as well, and you know, this $12, it seems like there's just a lot of sellers there, right? Every time it kind of like attempts to break higher, it kind of like push up to like, I think about 12.05 or 12.08, and sellers came back and pushed prices back down and it went back below 12, right? So not a good thing. It shows that is still a little bit of a resistance for now, all right? And that's where, you know, sellers can actually come back again as we approach this $12. So that is pretty much the sideways movement for now. You can see that this green line, this is the green line, the 20 days moving average was like sloping up, all right, as we broke this you know, 1170, 1180 level. But now this green line is like kind of like pointing down a bit. It might flatten here, it might flatten as we consolidate in this 1170 to this $12 range. So I think this is OCBC. It looks a bit different from DBS and UOB, whereby the uptrend looks a little bit more firm, all right, in terms of the upwards direction, in terms of the longer term and the short term, all right. But for OCBC, it's a little bit more at the lower end, all right. Well, hopefully we break this $12, right? We break this $12, and that's where the upside reversal can happen a bit more firmly, all the way to like 1240 to 1250, maybe the 1260. Right? Look at it, right? The 1260 level, that was was where we were in May, in June, we came down. In August, we sold down about 3 times, and quite a bearish candle right here. So that's where some profit taking can actually happen. And if you do break the trough, I think if it hits to that level, you can also think about getting out near the 1250 to 1260 selling zone. Alright, so this is OCBC right here. Okay, so this is OCBC on my 1GT system. Quick one, look at this right here. I think somewhere around November last year, same thing like the other 2 banks. We got a bullish signal. It went from like $8.50 all the way to about $10. You can see that was where it started to consolidate. Another good bullish signal in February, went up all the way, got an exit. And also you can see they started to consolidate. Same thing like, UOB as well. We were like consolidating. OCBC was like consolidating as well from like about 11.50 to about 12.50 around there. You can see up there, a couple of bullish signal and entry and exit as we consolidate. But this is where we are right now. So we saw a bit of weakness, as I say, right? We did had like a little exit signal right here before the sell down. You can see entry and exit. So it kind of came down, got a little bearish, came down a little bit. You can see the trend kind of like turned a little bit from up to downwards direction somewhere in September here. But then we got like a bearish exit, so like a red arrow pointing down. Went up, pushed down a little bit, and we got an exit, and we started to see a little bit of a rebound. So this is where we are right now, right? Not much of a signal right here. You can see as we consolidate here from 1170 to that $12, really critical psychological resistance level that I talked about. We really want to break that $12. You can see when we had this bullish signal here, it was just as it attempted to break that 12, but somehow it didn't really follow through. All right, and that's where we got to exit. So we got to exit from this signal. All right, so yeah, I think if we can break the $12 firmly, that's where we might see like a new bullish signal coming out again, and that's where you can lead the reversal back to the $12.50 to like 12.60 level. Okay, there we have it, guys. So we have pretty much covered the 3 Singapore local banks, DBS, UOB, and OCBC, right? So as I mentioned, DBS and UOB, they look quite strong, all right? They're attempting to push like new high. OCBC kind of like retrace back down, but thankfully we found a little bit of support as well, and that could be a good potential reversal move as well, right? So I hope you now have like a better picture of where we are right now. I mean, compared to the past few videos that I did a few months back, all right? And we have kind of like pushed higher as well. So I hope you like this video. If you do like it, or make sure you give me a like or smash the like button. It will definitely help out the channel. Of course, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button as well, and you will not miss out on any videos like this, right? So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to see you in the next video. Joey here. Take care.